potential undisputed welterweight championship bout.
Right.
Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. You fought Terrence Crawford.
Right.
How you see that fight going?
I'm gonna be real. You know, me and Sean Porter, we actually gave you the blueprint on how to fight Crawford. You know, pressure is a motherfucker at the end of the day. And, you know, they saying it's a 50-50 fight, but what happens when a guy stay in your chest and force you to fight like a dog 24/7? We know Crawford can rumble. We know he like range. But what happens when a person don't get that range? When a person in your chest and make you gotta fight, overexert yourself. We seen Crawford get his second win at range. What happened when you in close and you rumbling and you gotta get that second win? You taking repeated shots. This guy is a big guy like Crawford. I'm not gonna lie, I'm leaning toward Earl Spence. I got a lot of respect for Crawford, but I'm going with Earl Spence on this fight. Crawford coming all the way up from 130. Spence, the bigger man, I got Spence, man, and with the better opposition, you know what I mean, bigger fights. Crawford, like I said, I can't take nothing away from him. He beat me, you know what I mean? But I got to go with Spence on this fight, man. Knowing boxing, I got to go with Spence.
Hanky Lundy, Mr. Hank Lundy. Now, I am far from a nut rider, right? Like, I believe everyone is entitled to their own opinion when it comes to anything, right? But when you present yourself as someone that knows boxing and your reasoning behind why you have Errol Spence Jr. winning, it kind of raised questions, right? First, because I'm addressing everything you said, right? First, this is the first thing you said. You and Mr. Sean Porter gave fighters the blueprint on how to fight Terrence Crawford. Now, last time I checked, in order to give someone the blueprint, you would have to be successful at fighting Terrence Crawford, right? So let's look at the outcome and what happened between Hank Lundy and Terrence Crawford. Because Mayweather gave the blueprint on how to fight Canelo Alvarez because he actually beat Canelo Alvarez. So let's look at the blueprint that Mr. Hank Lundy is talking about, right?
Step it up. Are you all right? Yeah. Look at me. You all right? Come here.
Okay, so we see Hank gave the blueprint on how to fight Terrence Crawford, right? And the blueprint is to pressure and get knocked the fuck out, right? And he said somebody else gave the blueprint on how to fight Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, right? So let's look at Sean Porter blueprint on how to fight Terrence Crawford and see how it ended up for Sean Porter. What was the result of that blueprint, right?
To 60. Good combination. And so good countering both.
Body work in that last round and the short uppercut that we showed. There the body punches. 28. There is the knockdown scored in round 10 by the champ. Terrence Crawford catches Porter early in round 10. And now patiently probing. Seeing what could be behind that jab. There's a combination. There's a lead left hand. Porter looks good on his feet, but not coming forward and firing at Crawford for the moment. There's the overhand right. And another combination. Beautiful work by Crawford. Magnificent accuracy by the champ. He does damage.
So apparently both guys that have the blueprint on how to fight Turnbull Crawford got stopped, right? So I'm just addressing what Mr. Hank Lundy said, right? Since he said you know about boxing, right? Then he goes and said that Turnbull Crawford is moving up from 130, right? Last time I checked, Turnbull Crawford was a 3 weight division champion, 135, 140, and 147. But I might be wrong, right? I might be wrong. So y'all can let me know if I'm wrong. Somebody leave a comment and let me know if Turnbull Crawford came up from 130, right? Then this man goes and say that Errol Spence Jr. is the bigger guy, and Errol Spence Jr. he pressures a lot, right? And what Hank Lundy fails to tell you that when he mentioned him and Sean Porter having the blueprint, right? And they were pressuring Sean Porter and Hank Lundy, right? They're very much faster than Errol Spence Jr., right? They're faster than Errol Spence Jr. on their feet, right? And the hand speed is not even comparable, right? Their hand speed is superior to Errol Spence Jr. hand speed, right? So when they're talking about pressuring, it's two different type of pressuring. Hank Lundy was able to utilize the ring and gave Turnbull Crawford different angles, and he was very fast and he was in and out the same as Sean Porter. Errol Spence Jr., the way how he pressures his fighter, he doesn't move around. He stays right in front of them and stick out a jab and comes forward. He's not that fast, right? You can control range against Errol Spence Jr. at all times if you want to, because he doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with you, right? It's not the same when he fights guys like Ugas and Danny Garcia and guys that's going to stand in front of you and exchange, right? Sean Porter gave Errol Spence Jr. a hard time because Sean Porter moved around the ring, right? And took away Errol Spence Jr. jab. His jab wasn't that much of a factor fighting Sean Porter because Sean Porter moved around a lot. You feel me? It's hard for somebody to use that jab and get engaged when you're moving around. So Hank Lundy fails to leave that part out, and he says he knows about boxing, right? So let's look at the guys that were bigger than Turnbull Crawford, right? That was pressuring Turnbull Crawford, and look what happened to them. We're gonna start off with Mr. Victor Postol. Had the longer arm reach, was taller than Turnbull Crawford. He was the bigger guy, I would assume, in that fight. But look at what Turnbull Crawford did to the pressuring Victor Postol. Now you're watching Victor Postol getting countered. He got countered with a straight left hand, right? Every time when he engage, he gets countered, right? Every time when he comes close, you see Turnbull Crawford counter him. Just watch it. Boom, right there with a left hand. And Turnbull Crawford, he does what works, right? Every time when Victor Postol comes, he hit him with a straight left right to his chin, and Victor Postol backs off. You feel me? Terrence Crawford has shown that he's very strong by throwing Victor Postol around the ring. So I know Errol Spence Jr. fights differently. Errol Spence Jr., he tends to pressure with a jab, right? But Victor Postol in this fight, he has the speed advantage over Errol Spence Jr., right? You can see it. Victor Postol is he's more mobile, he's bouncing. You feel me? He probably don't have a jab, but he's pressuring with his footwork, right? He's pressuring with his footwork, but each time he comes close, Turnbull Crawford counters him. So how do you guys expect Errol Spence Jr. that's slow, that's just going to pressure Turnbull Crawford with a jab if he can't get close to him? Because Turnbull Crawford has the longer arm reach. He moves around, and his counter punching ability is out this world, right? So it's going to be a long night for Errol Spence Jr. Like, he can't just pressure a guy with a jab that's going to be countering him and that's going to be moving around the ring. Like, it just doesn't work like that. Like, y'all got to know boxing, and that's why I'm saying Hank Lundy, he doesn't know boxing, right? He talks about how he pressured Turnbull Crawford and make it look like Errol Spence Jr. has the same style. Errol Spence Jr. doesn't pressure with speed. He doesn't pressure with speed at all. He pressures with the jab, right? And in order for you to have success against Turnbull Crawford, you gotta have some type of speed, bro. You have to have some type of speed, whether it's hand speed or foot speed. And Errol Spence Jr. doesn't have any of those. He doesn't have any foot speed, and he doesn't have any hand speed. So in this fight, you see Victor Postol is trying to pressure Turnbull Crawford with movements, and it's just not working, right? So let's give another example. Mr. Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn, look what happened to Jeff Horn. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're watching Jeff Horn, the bigger fighter, right? That pressures in a different way from Errol Spence Jr., right? That actually use movements and an awkward style to pressure you, right? But you watch Terrence Crawford counter punching ability is out this world, right? He's timing Jeff Horn every time the bigger Jeff Horn comes forward. Terrence Crawford looks like the stronger man, right? He hit him with body shots, left hook, double up with the left hook again, left hook, right? He's eating Jeff Horn alive, right? And Jeff Horn is supposed to be the bigger man that's constantly pressuring, like what Hank Lundy says, right? And you see Terrence Crawford, right? Like I said, throughout the fight, the fighters get weakened because he throws with conviction, right? He's the most accurate power puncher in boxing right now. He throws 45% in power punching. Like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. This is unbelievable. This guy supposedly started his career at 135, and he's dealing with welterweights like they're little guys in the ring. Look at this. He's timing him with uppercut, timing him with left hook, right? You heard Tim Bradley. He's weakening. Look, just in and out, using the ring, moving around, right? Marching forward, sharpshooting, right? Like, Terrence Crawford has way too much in his arsenal for these guys to believe that Errol Spence Jr. that's coming with just a jab is going to be able to stop him. It doesn't make any sense, right? And then he stops Jeff Horn, right? The best finisher in boxing. Uppercut, left hook, right hook. The ref had to stop it. So Hank Lundy believes that Errol Spence Jr. coming with just a jab. Like, in order for you to use that jab, I got to be there in front of you to use that jab, right? When you don't have that much movement, you can't use a jab because I'm not in front of you. I don't understand the logic when these guys talk boxing. It's like, y'all don't make no type of sense. In order for you to use a jab, right? The jab is to keep me at bay, right? You're slow as hell. So how can you react when I'm hitting you, right? If you're coming forward and you're throwing a jab, how can you react when I'm hitting you when you're not that fast? Are you gonna move? Is your jab your defense? Is your jab your defense? When Terrence Crawford with a 74 arm reach fights on the outside, right, and takes away Errol Spence Jr. jab, Errol Spence Jr. he's gonna get anxious and he's gonna overcommit. And he throws a lot of punches. So he's gonna overcommit and he's gonna get caught by the most accurate puncher in boxing right now, bro. So I don't know, like Hank Lundy said he knows boxing, but he said two things. He said him and Sean Porter had the blueprint on how to fight Terrence Crawford, and him and Sean Porter both got stopped, right? And then he said Terrence Crawford started his career at 130, right? And Errol Spence is the bigger guy. Errol Spence is the bigger guy, but Terrence Crawford did not start his career at 130, right? And then he says that because Errol Spence is the bigger guy that pressures, he's leaning towards Errol Spence Jr., right? And I just showed you guys example of guys that are bigger guys than Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford is able to neutralize them. And I can show you a next example. Jose Benavidez, a guy that's not that mobile, right? But he has superior hand speed to Errol Spence Jr. He lets his hand go, and he's like 5'11" with a 74 arm reach, right? He's bigger than Terrence Crawford. And look how Terrence Crawford dealt with Jose Benavidez. The Jose Benavidez that they say had one leg, but is definitely faster than Errol Spence Jr., right? Let's see how the bigger Jose Benavidez fared against Terrence Crawford. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're watching Jose Benavidez, right? He's coming forward. And each time he comes forward and he pressures Terrence Crawford, he gets hit. And you're watching Jose Benavidez, he's now weakened because he kept on coming forward. He kept on getting hit with body shots, right? And the same pickable defense that Errol Spence Jr. have, where you have that high guard, that leaves you open for an uppercut, right? You're gonna get hit with that uppercut, right? And Terrence Crawford, he loves to go to the body, right? And Errol Spence Jr. is vulnerable to the body. He doesn't like body shots, right? He hates them shits. And Terrence Crawford loves inflicting those body shots, right? If you watch Jose Benavidez, he's getting countered, right? Almost dropped, right? You watch Terrence Crawford playing with him, right? Good defense. He got hit one time, caught him, right? Caught him again, right? Then he got up out of there. Like, he doesn't engage with you for the whole time, right? He just eat him up. He eating him up. The whole fight, he eating him up, right? Letting his hands go with different combination, right? And then he comes and he used that arm reach and throw a lunging left hook and lunging right hook, right? 7-4 arm reach, that's very detrimental, right? His arm reach is longer than Errol Spence Jr.'s. And you see that Jose Benavidez is weakened now. He don't have nothing left, right? He's defeated, right? He already lost already because Terrence Crawford been eating him up the whole fight because he kept on pressuring and kept on getting countered, right? You see, now Terrence Crawford is the aggressor. And this happens with all his fights. Like, at the end of the fight, he becomes the aggressor, right? All the time. So you see Jose Benavidez, he's trying his best now, right? And that same pickable defense that Errol Spence Jr. has, that's what happens. You get hit with an uppercut. You get hit with an uppercut. And then when you get hit, it's going to be hard for you to recover from that. So, Hank Lundy, I don't understand what Hank Lundy means when he says that Errol Spence Jr. is the bigger guy and he comes with constant pressure. That constant pressure comes with you getting countered, right? That comes with you getting countered. Now, the last example of a next bigger guy that pressured, he's more of a boxer than Errol Spence Jr., but he comes forward, right? And he came forward to Terrence Crawford, and this is what happened. So we watched Igis Kavalauskas hit Terrence Crawford with a mean hook and dropped him. Like, I admit, he got dropped. And Igis Kavalauskas, he's a boxer and he's a brawler. Like, he could come forward. He got very fast hands, and he hits very hard, right? So you watch Terrence Crawford, instead of boxing Igis Kavalauskas, he's coming forward, right? And Igis Kavalauskas is coming forward also. You see Terrence Crawford get caught a lot while he's trying to engage with Igis Kavalauskas. But you watch how strong this man is and that he can actually take a punch, right? When he decided that I'm not going to box, he can move forward also and he can take a punch. You see Igis Kavalauskas you see Terrence Crawford says, you don't forget that. It's out the window. I'm about to fight. And both of these guys is coming at each other and throwing huge blows at each other, right? You see Igis Kavalauskas is attacking. He's having success. But Terrence Crawford starts coming forward. Both these guys are coming forward. There's nobody backing down right now. Both of these guys are coming forward. So both of these guys are pressuring, right? Terrence Crawford is taking a lot of punches, right? This is like his toughest, I wouldn't say his toughest fight, but he decided that he was going to fight. He decided, I'm not going to box, I'm going to fight, right? So you're watching Terrence Crawford actually fighting right now, right? He's fighting a hard-hitting Igis Kavalauskas that was not the same after he fought Terrence Crawford, even though he won all his fights. He was able to drop Virgil Ortiz, right? He didn't win, but he was able to drop Virgil Ortiz. And you're watching Terrence Crawford and just fucking him up right now. He's just fucking him up. Like, he's fucking him up. Like, he got mad, he got dropped, his pride got hurt, and now he's fucking him up. Now he's moving forward, right? And he's taking a lot of punches while moving forward, because now he's not boxing. And now Igis Kavalauskas got to feel the wrath of Terrence Crawford when he's mad, right? When he actually decide, yo, we gonna brawl. You feel me? So Errol Spence Jr. gonna have to deal with this throughout the fight too. He's not gonna deal with just Terrence Crawford boxing. He's gonna deal with an angry Terrence Crawford that's gonna come forward and that has mean intention in every single punch that he throws. Right? You watching the left hook, you watching the right hook, you watching the sweeping hook, you watching everything that comes out when this man is mad. You feel me? He's not boxing anymore. Like, he's not fighting on the outside. Look, he's straight bullying Igis Kavalauskas now, right? Now Igis Kavalauskas is the one that's backing up. And this is what I say. This is what happens in Terrence Crawford fight. He just got hit with a right hook and he dropped. This is what happens, bro. And that was the end of the fight. So, Hank Lundy, you don't know anything about boxing, right? And a lot of people don't know that Hank Lundy and Terrence Crawford, they don't like each other. Like, at all. Like, they don't like each other. And I think Hank Lundy, he fights on the PBC. You feel me? So he's supposed to say that hating shit. You feel me? Like, he was itching. If you watch him, he was, and like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But when you say you know boxing and everything that you say is a contradiction, it's just like you're a hating ass nigga. You came on there itching just to say that Errol Spence Jr. will beat Terrence Bull Crawford, because Terrence Bull Crawford pushed the shit out of y'all, pushed the shit out of you in the fucking face-off, and he came to your gym while you was working out to fuck with you, and then he ended up stopping you. So that just came straight from the hate from the heart from Hank Lundy. I don't give a fuck what Hank Lundy got to say. Hank Lundy got his ass whooped, you feel me? And he would never, ever, ever fight Terrence Bull Crawford again. And if he do fight Terrence Bull Crawford again, the same shit will happen, you feel me? So, like, this is just to show you guys that anytime these niggas come and say anything, I'm here. Because I'm Mr. Cleanup Gang. I'm cleaning up everything. All the narratives and all the fake shit that these niggas talk about, all the dumb shit that these niggas talking about, I'm here for it. You feel me? So y'all let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all leave a like. Make sure y'all hit that subscription button. Make sure y'all share this video if y'all enjoy this content. That's all I got for y'all, and I'm out.